All right, when we last left, we had a nice little player, and he could jump. We had all the jumps nice and working correctly. And something I didn't talk about was the air control flag that we had on the player. Just wanted to make you aware of this, that if we turn this off, and then we rerun our application here, when he's in the air, you can't control his direction. So that's what the air control thing was for, and it does indeed work. So I turned that back on. What we were going to do today was to round out the items that we were looking for in our when the level was loaded. So those types of things, such as the coins. Let's see, where's that level 1? The coins. Let's start with the coins and the key. So those are things that you can pick up. So those are, I would call those pickups. So I'm thinking we're going to want coin. We're going to want some indices for those as well. And we'll go ahead and grab those from the tile. So the tile set, so that's the quad block. So all we need to do is just go through here and look for those. There's the coin. It's index 8 is the coin. And index 2 is the key. So 8 is the coin, 2 is the key. 2 and 8. So we'll also need a packed scene for those. Just like that. Of course, we could make this more configurable, and where you could configure this in the editor and just have it kind of be more generic. But this works for us. So we're going to do, and let's actually put these in order, just because. So we have key, and then we'll do the same here. Except we won't do this. We will create a key, and let's, instead of having it come into the level, the actual level root, let's create another node 2D, and let's call this items, and let's use that for the parent for these. That way it keeps it nice and clean, because we like clean. Clean's good. We've got the key, so we create an instance from TileMap where we create whatever that key, that packed scene that we have here, which is just basically just a scene that's loaded, which will be our key instance or object. And then we also have a coin, so then we'll do the same thing with the coin. And we will also create it under items, because it is indeed an item. So now the next thing to do will be to go and create those actual items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here, and we'll say new folder, and we'll say items. Actually, let's say pickups. Let's call it pickups. So let's create a brand new scene. What we want is an area 2D to be the root. Oh, we'll call it a pickup, because this will be our base scene. I'm going to go, well, we don't have to save it yet. I'll go ahead and we know we want a sprite. We know we want a collision shape 2D. And we may even want an animation player. And let's go ahead and fill in, since we're, for the most part, using these as our main texture, we're just going to go ahead and pre-fill this in. We can always change it later if we come up with some more sprites, which we may do that. We may actually have more sprites later. We'll see. Vertical frames 5, horizontal frames 10. We'll just have it generic like so. We'll save that scene under pickups, and we'll call it base pickup. Base pickup. And let's see. We want to add a, let's add a script to this, because I think there's going to be some common functions that we're going to want from a pickup. So I think we should stick those types of things in here. So I'd say when we're ready, we probably want to do something like connect. I believe it's body entered. And we'll connect that to ourself. And we'll create a function called onPlayerEntered. So I'll show you what that we'll show you what that does here in a minute. onPlayerEntered, and then print, and I think that takes a body, probably a physics 2D body as an argument. So we'll just print the name of the body real quick. And let's create now a inherited scene from the base pickup. So now we're in the inherited scene. Let's make it our key. So we'll have to find the keyframe. Haha, that's funny. Keyframe, get it? Oh, one of the other things that we want to do for the base pickup, just like before, since we're going to turn these into tile from the tile set, let's make the sprite, the pivot. I'm trying to think. Will that be a problem to make the pivot of the sprite? I guess we'll keep it center for now, but that just means that we're going to have to go back into the we're going to have to go back in here, and then we'll just have to do something like that for these other items. So it's just an additional parameter we'll have to put in, but we can decide whether we want to do that for all of them or not a little bit later. So there's our key. We'll add a collision shape for that. That'll be an easy one. That'll be a rectangular shape. So we'll pull him down. Oh, and something else we want to do, that's going to be the key. Something else we want to do for the base pickup is we want to set our collisions layers to we're pickups, and we want to look for the player to come through and touch this pickup. So let's take this key, go to the base level, and now we should have here, let's take that key scene and drag him into that scene. So let's also, since we don't have the coin ready yet, let's comment this out so that we don't get an error. And let's run this and see if we replace that key correctly and if it shows up like we think. And it looks like I have not correctly offset it. There we go. So that, well, let's look over here. We'll make sure. The remote, we'll look in the level under the items, and there's the pickup right there. Let's actually also rename that. I forgot to do that as well. Instead of pickup here for the key scene, we'll call it a key because that's what it is. Let's go see what happens when we run over it. We should get a message that says the name of the thing that ran over it. Fantastic. That is Wonder Man. That's great. So this is the base pickup. We just go back here, it doesn't matter. Base pickup. So we have onPlayerEntered, we print the name of the body. Now I can see some things that we may want to do here. One of the things would be to Q3 and then to send some kind of signal, such as signal, or maybe we do something instead like a call group or something like that. I think the call group is probably under the main node. Is that right? Let's see. Groups. We'll just look up groups. Scripting. Here we are. Groups. Nodes can be added to groups. Add to group. Beautiful. So we just get tree and we call the group. Okay, let's do that. I think that is a good idea. So before we queue free, we'll get tree, we'll call group, and the group we want to call is, let's call it pickup listeners, because I like the way that sounds, man. We'll do on pickup, and the parameter is we'll pass ourself into that. So they get access to the entire object that way. Let's see if we can make that work. There's obviously some other things we're going to need to do, such as sounds and particle systems and things like that, but I think we can make this kind of thing work. So what we want to do then is we want to go to our game scene. We want to add this game node. We'll go over here and I want to add it to what we'll call a pickup listeners group. Now our game node, you see this little guy here, is a member of the pickup listeners group. I just thought of a random thing here for the base level. I'm going to go to the editor. I want to lock the position of the level. So I'm going to do that. So that says that we can't move this level. I don't want to offset him at all. So just a random thing, just to make sure that the levels aren't movable. Now back to what we were doing. So we're a member of pickup listeners now. So that means whenever one of these pickups gets picked up, it will send a message to the pickup listeners group, of which the game node is a member, and it wants to call a function called on pickup, and then we'll say item, and then let's just print item.name, because what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll have, instead of having the character, the game state stored inside of the character, since we're deleting the character and reinstantiating a brand new character every level, we'll store that inside of the game loop instead. I think that should be fine. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we actually get this called from our pickup over here. If I can actually make the jump. Ding ding. There we go. And there it was. Excellent. So then, we might trigger then a door or something like that. So, okay, excellent. That works. So basically the game gets notified anytime one of those items is picked up. Now we could, instead of adding it over here in the groups, we could do this, and maybe that's more visible. Maybe we do this instead. So we do pickup listeners. Right? That should still work. It just feels a little bit better to me than to have that stuff hidden in the IDE. Jink. And it still works. We still get the key right down here. That's lovely. I love it. Love it. That means the game itself can decide what to do with that thing. Okay, let's add also another pickup. So we'll go from the scene, we'll go to a new inherited scene, and we will grab the base pickup. We want to inherit from the base pickup again. And we want to add a coin. So with that, we will go to the first coin frame, which is probably around 20 something. Yep, there it is. So there's the first coin frame, first coin frame. We want a collision shape, and that'll be a circle. That's an easy one. Circle shape. Pull it down like so. The sprite, we want an animation, and we'll call it spin. We want the coin to spin. We will I think a second should be pretty good as far as how long. Let's check the tile set and see how many. Well, first let's go ahead and begin the animation. So this will be frame 1, 2. Oops. There's 1. There. Oh no, it didn't do it. I want to start it, that frame. Here, 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 and there. No, not this one. So we have this, so that's about so maybe we'll make it like half a second instead. And we loop it, and let's play that and see what we get. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Let's call it coin. And let's rename it up here as well. Coin. And let's go back to our script. Oops. Let's add in the level, and we'll uncomment this. And then back to the base level. And we need to fill in the coin here. And then we hit F5 and we should see these little coins moving around, rotating. Yet they're not. What have we done? What have we done wrong? Oh, we do also want to do this thing. We did get the correct coin index, didn't we? We'll check again. 8? Yes. That's the coin index. We do have some debugger errors here. Oh, that's fine. That's all fine. It's all good and well. Well and good and good and well. Let's make sure that these is level 1. Let's make sure that those tiles are the actual tiles that they're supposed to be. We'll just redraw them there. Redraw them. Oh, I know what it is. Of course. The coin animation down here. We haven't told it to play on start. And we need to do that. So that's this little tiny button right here. Which again, it needs to really be made more clear what's going on. So that's a play on start, and then these guys will start rotating. So yeah, so they've been done the whole time. The other thing that would be good would be to add the ability to basically randomly pick where in the animation you want to start, and maybe the speed of the animation, so that they aren't all rotating at the same amount Then we grab the key, and then we click, and then there's a coin, and then there's a coin. So it works. Fantastic. So we've got these signals, these group calls hooked up to the game, the main game scene, so that we can get these events. I think the next thing that we'll do is we'll do something with the door. The door will be some kind of triggerable item. So we'll have to figure out how to do that, because it'll kind of be a dual thing going on. Because when we touch it and it's locked, it won't do anything. When we touch it and it's open, then we will load the next level. So with that, I will see you next time, and we'll explore that.